Hello everyone and welcome back to Destiny. Today I want to go over a couple of items that are available to you if you pre-ordered the game or if you bought a very specific version. The Coldheart, of course, is the pre-order exclusive, and then we have the Traitor's Fate, which is the exclusive for the limited edition and the digital deluxe edition. Also, while the Traitor's Fate is an exclusive forever, the Coldheart will be available to drop starting later in the year, so don't worry if you haven't pre-ordered, you'll get your hands on it pretty soon. So in this video, we'll go over that and I'll show you some gameplay. So let's jump in and take a closer look. So as soon as you zone into the tower and finish the campaign, you can head on over to Banshee and he will have the Coldheart available to you to pick up. It drops for me at 215. I guess this does scale a little bit to where you are, so keep that in mind as well. Aside from that, we can start with the perks. The first one is Cold Fusion. This weapon shoots a steady cold fusion powered laser. Even though this does say it is a cold powered weapon, it is in fact arc, so don't get your hopes up for a fourth element anytime soon. Aside from that, you will notice that this is the game's first and only trace rifle. However, this does categorize as an auto rifle for infusion, so keep that in mind. The next perk is Extended Barrel, increasing the range and decreasing handling speed. Then we have Enhanced Battery, and then aside from that, we have Longest Winter, the actual trait for the gun. And the perk for that reads, Coldheart's laser does exponentially more damage the longer it remains on a target, and you will actually see this in action. It's pretty cool. And then the final perk is Hand-Laid Stock. Now, the one thing I was not expecting from this gun is how fun it is to use and how effective it can be. You can see here that it gets a pretty decent range on it and still remains pretty effective without a whole lot of damage fall off. And of course, if you can funnel the enemies into a small little corridor, then you can just hold down the trigger forever and it will do a ton of damage. The weapon does have a pretty substantial initial kick, but it's super easy to reel in and focus in for precision damage. Overall, the gun is honestly a lot more viable than I was thinking it would be. Its saving grace is the fact that it's in the energy slot and not the power slot. I don't see this replacing a power weapon, but it can absolutely replace an energy weapon. And that actually extends into the Crucible. I was surprised how effective this can be against other combatants. And I think part of it is that they probably just don't see it coming. It might be a while before they learn how to sort of defend against something like the Coldheart. But if you're up against anyone that's good, you're probably going to have a hard time keeping track of them. It's probably going to be a lot more effective on the PC. And in fact, I'm a little worried that this might be a little overpowered on the PC with the precision of the mouse. But we'll just have to wait and see. Next, let's move on to some digital items that were available to you if you got the limited edition of the game or the digital deluxe. That includes the emblem and the sword. Again, these are only going to be available after the campaign, so afterwards you're going to want to head on over to the postmaster and you will have an item called a strange parcel. Once you receive that, you will get the emblem and the sword. The emblem is Emperor's Shadows, which is a bit of a hint if you have finished the campaign. And honestly, even the sword, when you read the flavor text, let the Emperor's gratitude end your foes as swiftly as you have ended his. This is a pretty in-your-face hint at what I think is heading towards the raid, but we'll touch on that later on. Now, intrinsically, this weapon does have an R2 uppercut, which is probably its best feature. Moving on, we have Enduring Blade, which gets you increased sword ammo at the cost of damage, or you can choose between increased sword damage and ammo. This is actually pretty cool, but I like the top choice for clearing out a lot of ads. It just gets you more ammo. Then for the guard perks, we have Burst Guard. Sword Guard has low efficiency but high defense, and then we have Sword Guard has high efficiency and low defense. So again, adapting to your particular playstyle and how you're planning to use the sword. Again, for just killing a lot of people, I would go with Enduring Guard. And then we finally have the weapon's trait, which is Assassin's Blade. Sword kills boost movement speed and damage. As far as the sword itself, it's fun to use just like swords are. This does seem to be right around the mid-tier for sort of quote-unquote rate of fire. It's a little bit faster than the Titan sword you get and a little bit slower than the katana. Unfortunately, I do prefer my hunter's weapon a lot more, the sort of katana style one, I forget the name of it. But then we have the Titan sword, which is just a lot more powerful. And as you can see, this is not so bad in the Crucible. This does bring up a small topic of whether or not swords are overpowered in the Crucible, because you can get them relatively often. But really, you can make that argument for any of the power weapons. You see me sort of sneaking around corners here every now and again, but of course, you could just do a dance emote to see around you like that. And as you'll see in a moment here, the trade-off is, of course, that you're super vulnerable up close. So it's not always going to be the best choice, depending on your playstyle. I'm a very aggressive and very combat melee-focused playstyle with my Hunter, so I really enjoy it in the Crucible myself. But anyways, let me know in the comments below what you think of Coldheart and what you think of Traitor's fate. Let's discuss. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for more Destiny content. And I will see you all next time.